What's up, guys? We're coming back from the break. Obviously, we have a 1-month break. I'm going to be doing a video for Dern versus Ribas 2, the UFC Fight Night, which is the first event back. The reason I'm going to be looking on opposite sides in most videos because I have my iPad on the right side because it's dead, and I have to get this video done, and my laptop is on the left side. And we also have, as you could see, some new graphics for the new year, which I think should make our videos and just everything a lot better in general. So I've been working on that for a while, and that's what took me so long compared to other YouTubers to get my video out, is I was trying to find the best way to make my graphics and all that stuff. Finally figured it out on accident, to be honest. And yeah, we're gonna have some pretty nice graphics. I hope you guys all had a Merry Christmas, a great Christmas. Hope you guys all have a great New Year. I should be having this video out, Dern versus Ribas 2, that whole full card breakdown. This should be out before New Year's, and we're gonna try to get UFC 311 out before New Year's as well. I just have to finish the graphics, which I should have done right after this video by the end of the day. And then I also need to get the breakdowns for UFC 311, which is easy. UFC 311 seems like a very easy card. We should make a couple thousand on that card, in my opinion. If we don't, it's a letdown. And if I don't put my money where my mouth is, I'm going to be very disappointed. So I'm definitely going to put my money where my mouth is on that card. But anyways, here we go. We could start the slides. So these are new graphics. For our first fight, we got Victoria Dudakova versus Fatima Kline. You guys can see everything. Obviously, it is similar to We Want Picks, but I did it in my own way and different. For the graphics to be like this and for you guys to see everything, obviously We Want Picks did it the best way, and there's no other way for me to do it, but I did change it up a little bit, put my own little spice to it. Obviously, you'll see at the top where it says like the weight class, I messed up on some of these in this graphic, and I'll tell you which ones. This one's obviously not lightweight, but it has everything, all the details, all the striking stats, the grappling stats. So you can see everything that's on the UFC stats page. For the first fight, the odds are screwed up here in my opinion. I'm just going to start with that. As you can see, Dudakova's plus 525. Fatima Kline's negative 800. But yeah, so we're going to act like Victoria Dudakova is terrible because she lost a somewhat close decision to Sam Hughes, all because of the pace and nothing due to the skill set. Victoria Dudakova is a well-rounded fighter who can strike pretty good as well as wrestle. She simply just gassed in her last fight because the pace was too much. Fatima Kline is a grappler who will try to push the pace, which there you go. Will try to push the pace. This could be a similar issue to Dudakova as in her last fight, but I don't think it will. I think Dudakova will be able to get the takedowns and win this fight as the underdog. And to play it safe, I'm most likely going to be playing the plus 3.5 for Dudakova, which means she just has to win pretty much a round throughout the three. So they judge 3 judges. They scored 9 different rounds, right? So if it goes decision and Dudakova wins 3 of those 9 rounds that the judges obviously score, then you cash. So pretty much it's like plus 3.5. So when you add up the scorecards, right? Say it's 30-27, 30-27, 30-27. So if you add that up, that equals 90 to 81, which means the negative 3.5 would have cashed. It's like a football bet. So the scorecards won by 9, which negative 3.5 passes. You have to have the scorecards win by 3 or less in favor of Dudakova. So it's just like a point spread in NFL. So if it's 29-28 in all 3 judges' scorecards, that's 87 to 84, which means Dudakova only lost by 3 points, which cashes the plus 3.5. I hope that makes sense to you guys. If you guys do NBA spreads or NFL spreads, you guys definitely should get it. But if not, it's kind of weird. You guys could text me in the comment section. I'll break it down better to you guys with all these different examples. But yeah, I think Victoria Dudakova is good enough to win a round. I don't know. I mean, Fatima Kline, you can see she's 0-1 in the UFC as she lost to Jasmine Jasudavicius, 30-27. She shouldn't be a negative 800 favorite as an 0-1 with an 0-1 UFC record. Dudakova's 2-1. She could wrestle. She could get the fight down. And it was a close fight with Sam Hughes. I mean, I want to say it was a split decision. I'm pretty sure. So it's like that plus 3.5. Say Dudakova was the underdog, easily would have cashed. I think the same thing's going to happen here. I'm going to most likely bet Dudakova on the money line. And I'm also probably going to bet the plus 3.5. Because I don't see a world where she doesn't win a round. I don't see her getting 30-27. That's what I have for this first one. Also, I think this goes decision. So if you guys want to play the over 2.5, that's cool too. For the next fight, we have Austin Bashi taking on Christian Rodriguez, a.k.a. the prospect killer. Austin Bashi, as you can see down below, 13-0, negative 225. And Christian Rodriguez is 11-2, and he's plus 185. So Austin Bashi is making his UFC debut after a dominant win in the Contender Series, where he showed how dominant he is with his wrestling and the relentless pace. On top of that, winning by second-round submission. His striking also did not seem too bad. His defense is not the best, but his striking offense seemed decent. I don't know why I'm stuttering. Christian Rodriguez, also known as the prospect killer, beat 3 prospects in a row before finally losing to Julian Erosa by first-round submission. I feel as if Rodriguez has had a pretty fluky run. He got mauled by Raul Rosas Jr. in the first round, and Rosas just gassed out. That's all that was. I think it was due to an adrenaline dump, to be honest. And then Isaac Dulgarian beat C-Rod, in my honest opinion. But, they gave him a bad decision. It is what it is. But also, he was getting mauled in the first 2 rounds, and Dulgarian just gassed him third. Dulgarian's a gasser, and we know that. He doesn't have the best cardio. I believe Bashi will be able to push the pace on C-Rod for 2 full rounds to make it 2018 going into the third. And that's when we're going to see how good his cardio is. I think he'll pick up a decision win. If he doesn't submit him, he could definitely submit him easy, because Julian Erosa did. I'm not saying easy. I don't know why I just said all that, making it seem like Erosa's jiu-jitsu is terrible. But no, I'm just saying Bashi could submit him, and he can make it look easy. But it could also, go decision. That's what I meant to say by that. Yeah, I think Bashi passes the test here. Obviously, he's a UFC debut, so I'm not going to put him in my safety parlay or nothing, but I'll probably have something with him in a parlay. My hairs are all messed up. As you guys can see, we do have new lighting too. I forgot to tell you guys that. New graphics, new lighting, new year. That's how we're coming this year for 2025. I'm going to take Austin Bashi. I think he's a legit prospect. I think he keeps the undefeated record, and that's going to be my pick at negative 225. For the next fight, we got Nurullo Aliev, a.k.a. Khabib Jr., taking on Yanal Ashmouz. And Aliev's compared to Khabib due to the way he looks and due to his fight style. He's not as good as Khabib, obviously. Khabib's in the Hall of Fame. He reminds me of Khabib, though, when Khabib was coming up. I will say that. Nurullo Aliev is a nasty wrestler with very good top control. He's coming off a 20-month layoff. Yanal Ashmouz is a wrestler as well who can be taken down. He does have some big power on the feet, which can be scary, but I believe this fight is set up for Aliev to get a win in his return in the first event back of the new year. As we've seen, Ashmouz, in that one loss he has, I forget who it was against. I'm completely blanking on who it was against. But anyways, he was taken down. As you can see, he has 60% takedown defense. I think Aliev will be able to get the takedowns on him. He's going to be able to control him, and I think he's going to be able to pick up a decision win. It's obviously a 20-month layoff. He's a good prospect. He'll be marketable. Undefeated Russian. I don't know if he'll be marketable per se, but he'll definitely be able, you'll be able to push that Russian. You know what I mean? It's Saudi Arabia. You go to those. So I think he should win this fight here. Ashmouz doesn't have the best takedown defense. Aliev's going to shoot takedowns. I think it's just sometimes MMA math works out. Aliev's going to be the pick at negative 420. But I will say, not in the safety parlay, more than likely, due to the fact that he's on a 20-month layoff. Yeah, I don't think I'll be betting too much on this card as it is. For the next fight, we have Santiago Ponzinibbio taking on Carlston Harris. Ponzi is a striker who likes to utilize range when striking, also using a lot of volume and pressure. He is getting older though, and it is really showing as he is 2-5 in his last 7 fights against very fringe level fighters. His takedown defense is not the best. I think that'll be a problem here. Carlston Harris is a well-rounded guy who could strike a little, wrestle a little, and grapple a little. I think he can use his aggressiveness. Jesus Christ. It's the first video back, guys. I think he can use his aggressiveness to close the distance and get his trips and to get Ponzi down. Give me Carlston Harris here. Obviously, it's pretty much a pick 'em. I like the odds. I think Carlston Harris gets the win here. Ponzinibbio is on the back end of his career. He's older. 2-5 in his last 7, like I said, against very mid-level fighters. Carlston Harris should win here, and I'm going to take him at -117. For the next fight, we have Jose Johnson taking on Felipe Bunes. I don't know how to say this exactly. Like, obviously, so I'm going to give you guys a little bit of rundown. I did all these breakdowns, all these graphics a while ago, and then, not a while ago, but all the breakdowns and stuff and film study a while ago. The graphics I just recently got done. And obviously for Christmas and all that, I was really busy. I was unable to make the video, so it's been a few days. And now I'm completely, dude, it's 4 in the morning, so if I'm talking weird, that's why. I can't even pronunciate. But yeah, I'm completely blanking on how to say his last name. So if I butcher it, just let me know in the comments. Felipe Bunes, whatever. We'll just call him Felipe. Yeah, so Jose Johnson is moving down in weight for this fight, which I believe is pretty crazy because he's already tall and long as shit. He is a Muay Thai striker with absolutely no takedown defense, as we have seen in every single UFC fight of his career. Felipe is a BJJ guy who is going to look to get this fight down to the ground. I think he'll be able to get the takedowns and pick up a win here as the dog. I'll be doing more film on both of these guys, but that's my initial pick at the moment. Felipe is +180 right now. Obviously, he's not very good. He's 0-1 in the UFC. Johnson's 1-2, and he could definitely just keep the range and just beat the shit out of this guy. But obviously, Jose Johnson, you could tell I'm tired, has no takedown defense, and Felipe's gonna shoot takedowns. I think he'll be able to get him down and possibly win this fight. I have to do more film, though. I have to see if Felipe's a gasser, how his takedowns are, like, in certain situations. All the situational takedowns, how he gets his takedowns, all that stuff. So we'll see what happens. I don't have an official pick at the moment, but my initial pick is going to be Felipe. Now, this fight, I'm super excited. We have Andreas Gustafsson taking on Preston Parsons, which is going to be really good. This is a super entertaining fight here. That's what it says on my notes, and that's what I just said right there. Andreas Gustafsson is making his debut after that dominant Contender Series win. He is such a fun fighter as he will walk his opponent down, eat humongous shots, and then return with even bigger shots of his own. He also showed off his ground game in the last fight and more of a methodical approach to the fight, which I liked a lot. Preston Parsons is primarily just a grappler, and if he can't get the fight down to the ground, it's going to be a problem. Gustafsson has a wrestling background, and that is why I'm going to be picking him in this fight. I believe Gustafsson's wrestling defense will hold up here in this one. I believe his power will be the difference here as I see him catching Parsons with a big shot to find the finish. That's all it is. I see Gustafsson walking him down, Parsons shooting a couple bad takedowns, getting discouraged a little bit. Gustafsson probably knocks him out second round. That's just what I see happening. I don't think he's going to get Gustafsson down. I don't think he's going to be able to handle the pressure Gustafsson offers. Parsons might land a couple big shots. I believe Gustafsson's just going to eat him, come back with his own, just absolutely break Preston Parsons and finish him in the second round. So now we have Punahele Soriano taking on Uros Medic. Punahele Soriano is a former D3 wrestler who seems to like to stand and try to catch his opponents with his power. He does, however, have no takedown defense, but that shouldn't matter here as Uros Medic won't be looking for takedowns. Medic is a pretty decent striker with a ton of power. His takedown defense is horrific, though, and Soriano has a clear path if he tries to wrestle, but I don't think he will, and just don't think he'll be a good enough wrestler to consistently get and keep Medic down. My pick is Medic here, as I think he'll be able to keep this fight on the feet to get the win. I'm not sure right now, but I may play the round 3 or decision here, which most people will think is stupid. Most of the casual people automatically assume a finish. I think Soriano's tough enough, and I think him shooting the takedowns could slow the fight down a little bit, but I think Medic is just going to be too much. The power, the ability to not be kept down, I guess you could say, as well as Soriano not showing a history of using his wrestling when it's right there. And even when he does use his wrestling is not as good as it should be to keep someone like Medic down. Obviously, he showed off his wrestling. I want to say in his last fight, he had 5 takedowns. So he showed off his wrestling. That was against Miguel Baeza, though. who's not very good. Yeah, I'm going to go Medic here, -210. I think that's where the odds probably should be. And yeah, like I said, round 3 decision here. Ernesta, we're just going to call her Carrot Cake, taking on Nicolle, Caliari. It's a fight I really don't care about. I'm definitely unsure of. Carrot Cake is a good and high volume striker who has shown some solid takedown defense in the UFC, but is 0-1 with her in the UFC with her Contender Series win being a split decision, which is not very impressive at all. Caliari is a grappler and will look to get the fight down. She is coming off her first round submission win on the Contender Series. With these girls both being so new and the stylistic matchup favoring Nicolle Caliari, I'm going to pick Caliari, but I will not be betting this fight at the moment. I just think, again, I have a dog, but I just don't like it. 0-1 in the UFC, 0-0 in the UFC. It's just a fight you don't touch. You just watch, and you kind of just learn. Like, what are these girls about? It's pretty much all it is. I mean, and there's a chance you could go, I don't know why I just put my stuff in there like that, but my cursor in there. There's a chance you could play Carrot Cake's more strikes, but then again, it's like, okay, if Caliari controls her the whole time and just beats the shit out of her and Carrot Cake can't get any volume off, then it's like you're screwed there too. So I'm not going to touch nothing there. I'd assume it goes decision, but yeah, I'm not touching that. Marco Tulio versus Ihor Potieria. I can't wait for this fight. Marco Tulio is an extremely aggressive striker who is coming off his Contender Series win, this time getting a finish as last time he did not get signed due to him going the distance against Alex Pereira's training partner, where he picked up the win, but not the contract. But obviously, Alex Pereira's training partner, he was humongous, dude, and you can't knock Tulio for not getting the finish there. I don't think you can. I think it was a good win. He obviously finished his last fight in the Contender Series. Ihor Potieria is a pretty good striker himself, but is very hittable, and that can be a problem with someone like Tulio. I don't believe Tulio is a very good striker, like elite or nothing, but Ihor is hittable, and I believe Tulio could get the finish here, catching Ihor with his wild striking style. If you guys could just watch his last Contender Series fight, you'll see how fucking crazy he is. But I just can't bet Marco Tulio -460. He's 0-0 in the UFC. Obviously, he should win, and I would have bet him if it was like -200 something. But -460 is a little crazy. If it does drop, magically does drop to the negative, like low -300s, high -200s, I might throw him in some parlays, but definitely not a safety parlay as he's a debutee, and that's what I'm saying. I don't like this card to bet very much because the guys that should win are all, or the guys I like the most, I guess, are all in their debut, and I don't like putting safety parlays on people like that. And now that I look at this, I think I forgot to update the graphics, so I'm having a blunder with the graphics. Obviously, this won't be the case for all of them, but I think I forgot to update the graphics here for both guys. Yeah, see, this is Carrot Cake's graphic. Damn it, I fucked that up. My bad, guys. Yeah, they're both strikers, though, so this graphic's all fucked up. That's my bad. UFC 311, I made sure is perfect. I've been double checking everything, so hopefully it's good. Next fight, we have Cesar Almeida, who just beat Ihor Potieria not too long ago, taking on Abdul Razak Al Hassan. So obviously, this is a solid fight where it is pretty obvious the UFC is trying to get Cesar Almeida a win to continue building him up. Abdul Razak is a judo guy, but rarely uses his judo, and instead loves to strike and show off his power. His striking is very average in my opinion, and Cesar Almeida is a really good kickboxer who has absolutely no takedown defense whatsoever. He is coming off that win against Ihor Potieria where he pieced him up on the feet, but once again was clueless when it came to the takedown defense and his defense off of his back. I'm taking Cesar Almeida in this one as I believe this will be a stand-up fight where he will be levels above Abdul Razak. Yeah, I mean, Cesar Almeida is clueless on the ground, so if Abdul Razak just gets close, he's going to win. As a plus 240 dog, he'll be able to get him down, keep him down. But I don't trust Abdul Razak to shoot those takedowns. Yeah, give me Cesar Almeida here. It's not the highest confidence pick, just due to his takedown defense. But yeah, that's going to be my pick here. So now we have Magomed Ghaziasalov taking on Bruno Lopez. Magomed is a very well-rounded fighter who has some solid striking and some very solid wrestling, as we've seen in his last fight, which is when he took over once he started using wrestling. However, he was being taken down very easily by Ribeiro in that first round. Bruno Lopez is fresh off his Contender Series win after selling his Contender Series debut fight, where he was a massive favorite to Brenson Ribeiro. Lopez is a kickboxer who seems to be very patient until he can pick up his reads on his opponent. I am unsure how his takedown defense is due to the fact his last fight, he never defended any legit takedowns. My guess will be Magomed gets the takedowns in this fight, along with being able to hang in the striking when the fight is on the feet to pick up the win. Dude, I am so tired I can barely talk or put words together. Yeah, when I say Bruno Lopez didn't defend any legit takedowns, the other guy, I forget his name. He's a Georgian dude. He shot from across the octagon every time. They're not good takedowns at all. I would be able to see takedowns like that come in. I'd be able to probably defend takedowns like that, honestly, with a few months of training, of wrestling. So I don't think it was really legit. I think we'll see who's who here. I like Magomed, though. I think his striking is just good enough to hang on the feet. I believe he'll be able to mix in the takedowns, and it'll just be too much for Bruno Lopez. But obviously, we'll see. I have Magomed here at negative 177. I think that's good value. Another one where it's two young guys we don't really know much about. Now we have Thiago Moises taking on Trey Ogden. Another fight I don't really care about. Thiago Moises is a really good grappler with some solid striking, but not great or elite. He is coming off that loss where he was dominated by Ludovic Kline. He beats bad people, but really struggles against good fighters. Thiago Moises also has horrific takedown defense, so if Ogden shoots, he'll probably get those takedowns. Trey Ogden is also a pure grappler with some solid power in his hands. He'll have the better wrestling here in this one, as he will shoot relentlessly all fight. I'm going to do some tape on this fight to get a real read on this fight, but my early lean is going to be Moises, as Ogden always struggles against decent opposition, and Moises always beats bad opposition. I'm going to take Thiago Moises here. I just think it's the same thing. Moises is going to be a lesser guy. Ogden's going to struggle against a decent guy. It is what it is. Negative 172 on Moises. Pretty decent if you ask me. Chris Curtis taking on Roman Kopylov. This is a great fight. And once again, I'll let you know, I'm taking the dog here. I usually don't take this many dogs, but that's what we're doing. Roman Kopylov is a really good kickboxer who can also offensively wrestle if he needs to. His defensive grappling is not very good whatsoever, but I doubt that matters in this one as Curtis does not wrestle. Chris Curtis is a solid journeyman fighter who trains with Sean Strickland. He is a pretty good boxer with some nice takedown defense, which probably won't matter much in this one. He is also very tough, which is what will matter in this fight. I believe the first round will clearly be Kopylov's. Pretty clearly. Oh my god, dude, I cannot fucking talk. I'm so tired. I believe the first round will be Kopylov's round pretty clearly, as well as the first few minutes of the second round. However, once the 8-minute mark hits, and the 8-minute mark is going to be key, is when it will be pretty interesting because Roman Kopylov does gas, and I cannot see him finishing someone like Chris Curtis. I believe Chris Curtis takes a close decision here, picking up the back half of round 2 as well as dominating round 3. I like Chris Curtis live bet after the first round. That's probably what I'll do, depending on everything, but that's probably what I'm going to do. So stay up to date with my Patreon. Pay attention to my Patreon notifications if you guys are part of the Patreon. We just did a giveaway too. I didn't even tell you guys that. We did a 5-day giveaway. Gave away $100 total, 5 different people. $20 each to 5 different people. But yeah, it's going to be interesting because Kopylov's so talented, his striking so good. He's going to beat the shit out of Curtis in that first round. Probably getting the second round, but Curtis is going to take over late, and it just comes up to that second round who wins. I also do like Chris Curtis plus 3.5. I feel like that's a really good bet. I don't see him losing that third round. That should be a lock, but yeah, I just don't see Curtis getting knocked out. So if he doesn't get knocked out, he's probably going to win the third round. And for the main event of the evening, we have Mackenzie Dern taking on Amanda Ribas for the second time. Obviously, you have Dern at plus 163, Amanda Ribas at negative 190. Mackenzie Dern, before we even start, is almost everyone's MMA crush, and you'll realize why once you see the side view. She's a very good grappler, showing good improvements in the stand-up, decent improvements in the stand-up. The downfall is obviously her wrestling is terrible, which prevents her from getting the fights down to the ground whenever she wants, and can also prevents her stand-up from opening up against solid strikers. Amanda Ribas is very well-rounded, as she can wrestle as well as she can strike. I worded that wrong. She can wrestle as well as strike. Pretty good. She also has some solid takedown defense, and I think that will be the difference in this fight. I believe this fight will stay on the feet, as Amanda Ribas will be the better striker and pick up a decision win against a very tough in-game Mackenzie Dern. Mackenzie Dern's as tough as they come. Her only finish loss was to Jessica Andrade, and she was able to fucking eat shots like crazy. Mackenzie Dern's as tough as they come with the females. Amanda Ribas won't finish her. I like Amanda Ribas by decision here. Negative 190, that's also pretty good value. I need to stop showing my cursor because that's fucking up the graphics, making it look ugly. But yeah, I think Amanda Ribas should win this one. I just don't see Mackenzie Dern being able to get her down. And I think that's going to be a problem because look at her takedown accuracy, Mackenzie Dern, 16%. She has 0 wrestling. I think that's going to be a big problem here. Yeah, I'm going Amanda Ribas. I think that's what it is. That's the breakdown for today. I don't know if it's quick or not. I think we're doing this for a little bit. It's probably a quicker one. I hope you guys like the new graphics. Obviously, I'm going to make sure UFC 311's all up to date, all fixed, no mistakes, as I caught a few mistakes in here on this one. Obviously, we did our giveaway this weekend. Congratulations to the people that won. 5 days of giveaways for Christmas. We always have giveaways during the summer too. Summertime we'll probably have giveaways. Depending on how much we're up by Valentine's Day, stuff like that, we might do giveaways for that too. We'll see. Just stay tuned. Stay updated to the Patreon. We made a shitload of money last year off UFC, and we didn't even bet that much till later on in the year. So now, obviously, we have this new style we're going to do, which I need to break down for you guys, but just a little rundown. We did a whole year breakdown of every event, pay-per-views in one category, Bellator and PFL in one category, boxing in a category. We had fight nights, Apex events, fight nights in certain cities, fight nights in the countries. So we did a whole blunder of that. Obviously, we're going to start betting a lot more for pay-per-views and Bellator and all that because that's where we really succeed. These fight nights like this, especially in Apex, we don't do the best. And I think that's where we're going to limit maybe to $100 to $200 an event for fight nights. For pay-per-views, we're going to be well above the 4-figure mark of betting 1, 2, 3, maybe 4,000 an event. So that's what we're going to do. Obviously, you guys need to start smaller. And if you guys struggle with bankroll management or you need to learn just how to do things, I could break everything down for you. Just have to join my Patreon, message me on IG, or through Patreon, and then I'll give you guys the full rundown. I mean, it's $1.99 a month, and I'll do all that stuff for you guys. I'll teach you guys a lot with betting. I'll text you guys consistently. You get a read into my mind, how my betting mind works, all that stuff. But yeah, I hope you guys all had a good Christmas. Hope you guys enjoyed it with your families, and I hope you guys have a happy New Year. I'll probably see you one more time, maybe 2 more times before the New Year. But if I don't, yeah, Happy New Year, guys.